I've been talking for 30 years and writing for 30 years. There are very few people control the world. Very few people. People will be staggered how few. If you give up what you have researched for 30 years to understand what the end game is, will happen unchallenged. So giving up is just absolutely not an option. We have a handful of people, which you could probably get on 10 fingers, or 2 hands, that control Google, control YouTube, owned by Google, control Facebook, that absolutely dominate the information that most people see or don't see. We have a concentration of power in Silicon Valley, a very small area of the world, that is the greatest concentration of surveillance and censorship power the world has ever seen. They can decide what you see and what you don't see, and they can trawl your data, in other words, the military intelligence community can, to find out the fine detail of your life from the information that you've posted on these various platforms. There is no freedom of speech. By the definition of freedom of speech is the freedom to speak your opinion and not have it censored and not have it banned. They always try to close my talks down.
You don't seem that bothered.
And when I say they, I'm talking about a ridiculously few people. We've reached the point now where there is a global network of ultra-Zionist groups that answer to Israel and the Netanyahu regime currently, who are targeting anyone who is in any way questioning the fact that Israel is not God's gift to humanity in every last thing that it does. This does not only include the general population. The ones they focus most on are Jewish people, are being targeted by these ultra-Zionist hate groups. I say hate groups because their modus operandi is to get the public to hate their targets, to silence them. And it's extraordinary how easy it is. I'll tell you how easy it is with me. They'll go to a venue and they'll say, this man Icke, he's going to come and say, it's all the Jews, he's anti-Semitic, he's a racist, he's going to say that the Jews are doing this, the Jews are doing that. I ain't said any of that. The venue does not then come to me and say, look, these people are saying you're going to say this. And I'd say, look, go on my website and you'll see a video, a 10-hour talk that I've been doing for the last 2 years. Show me where there's any anti-Semitism or racism in it. Quite the opposite, because what I'm saying is, ironically, we need to put down these irrelevant manufactured fault lines of race and religion and culture and color that divide us and realize that we're actually all one consciousness having different experiences, and that we've got caught in the illusion that the experiences of who we are when we are that consciousness that's having the experiences. So I am presenting what you could easily call the ultimate non-racist view of life, because I say race is a nonsense and an irrelevance and an illusion. Tell absolute lies about what I'm saying. And they destroy freedom of speech and someone's A, ability to speak in public, and B, the people to take the choice to listen. That was a sold-out event in Leicester, my hometown. And then what these ultra-Zionist hate groups do is they then contact the media when a venue cancels because of them, and they say the event's been cancelled because the venue realized he's a Holocaust denier and an anti-Semite. Of course, the media then repeat that, and you see a headline like Holocaust denier David Icke's event cancelled. And when this has appeared on these mainstream news sites on the internet, I've contacted them, every single one. I don't usually, but in this case you have to. And I've said, before I call my lawyers, would you please send me the evidence you have to support that headline? In every single case, bar none, they take it down in minutes, because they have done. All they've done is repeated what these ultra-Zionist hate groups have said. And what we are now seeing, and there's been a number of examples this week as we speak, is more and more Jewish people are coming out and saying to about these hate groups, you don't speak for us. There's one guy on the internet, a story that was broke today, a Jewish man who did a video on YouTube, basically saying to these ultra-Zionist hate groups, I'm Jewish and you don't speak for me. In fact, you're causing anti-Semitism by what you're doing. He had his video deleted, right? So when you've got Jewish people speaking out against Israel and the Israeli government, that's really bad, because it's very hard to paint them as racist against Jews when they are Jews. So they are targeted even more fiercely by these ultra-Zionist hate groups than people who aren't Jewish. And their freedom of speech has disappeared. And what we need to do is come together, all of us who are being blatantly defamed and misrepresented by these groups. And they are very few in number, but very well funded. The brain processes information electrically. It communicates with the cellular structure electrically, and it operates within a certain band of frequency. If you can broadcast frequencies carrying information, this technology has long been known, carrying information and perceptions within the frequency that the brain decodes information, the brain will decode those frequencies and will have those perceptions. You can externally influence people's perceptions externally by broadcasting these frequencies that we interact with, because we are antenna.
The sad reality is that where we now play our music is in A440. Where did that come from? It used to be 417. A440 came in with the Roman Catholic Church. They suppressed the frequencies. They lost somehow the 152 of the best Gregorian chants, including the hymn to St. John the Baptist, which we've now recovered. That particular hymn was what triggered Dr. Palaio's investigation, looking for those frequencies of vibration by which the music was played. It was known as the most uplifting hymn of all the ages, the most spiritually uplifting hymn. Hymn to St. John the Baptist. It was played to 6 tones. These are those 6 tones. These are those 6 frequencies. And so the A440 is what now is the standard tuning. If you go A439, you're closer to one of the Creator's tones. If you go A441, you're closer to one of the Creator's original tones. That's how precisely it has been manipulated. To do what? To shut down the 95% of your brain, particularly the right brain that operates the heart-mind for the divine human community.